Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake, which was released in 2019, while the original was released for the Game Boy in 1993. Now, this game is kind of like one of those unique Zelda games, kind of like how the Wind Waker was kind of unique in terms of like the graphical way it was designed, but for this game in particular, it's unique because it takes place on a dreamland called Koholint Island. It's up to Link to find 8 instruments and took the windfish so that he can go back to his reality, because at the beginning of the game, Link is hit by a fierce thunderstorm and is washed up on the Koholint Island. Now, the game is in Norella's consequences. As I said before, it's based on in a dreamland, and you have to find all the 8 instruments. But in doing so, not only will Link go back to reality, but the entire island will disappear, as if it never existed. Now, I think that's kind of... I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's like, even though there's risks can't come without consequences. And I think this is a good example of how those risks come into play, because you're trying to find all of these different instruments, but you know that the island will disappear. So you might think to yourself, should I get rid of this island? Because this island is full of inhabitants. It's got monsters, it's got animals, it's got real life people on the island. So you might think, is this just? Am I doing the right thing? Even though what you do in the end, you have to do, but you do, in the end, you are wiping out an entire continent, country, island thing, so that you can go back to your own reality. But, yeah, and what I like about this game is that you can go to all these different dungeons, and you can, like, go through them and such Zelda stuff, but you won't be able to go through like a later dungeon in the game without getting the necessary items. Now, the items in the game you can collect are some games that have appeared in future and past Zelda games. Well, older Zelda games, even you know what I mean, yeah. So you've got items like the bombs, arrows, hook shots, boomerangs, and you've also got some other items like the rock feather, which allows you to jump over gaps. And this is personally one of my favourite items in the game because of how you can use it. But I really prefer the hook shot to the rock feather, but I digress. Now, one of the major differences between this version and the Game Boy version is that you can create your own dungeons, sort of, because there's if you visit Dampy on the island, he can tell you that you can build these sort of dungeons, and you have to like go from one section, like from the beginning all the way to the boss, and you have to go and collect all the chests for those boss keys or maps or keys. I think I said keys already, but so on and so forth, and then you'll get, I think, a heart container. No, a heart container. Either a pizza fight or a heart container. Can't remember which one. And also, if you have the Link's Awakening Link amiibo, which is here, you can add further elements to it. And if you have like other Zelda amiibos, you can add certain dungeon sections and other stuff. Now, the bosses, the ones I've played and I've seen other people playing, are quite varied. Well, kind of different and varied, as you expect from Zelda bosses. One of the bosses you will see is obviously Moldorm, or Trolldorm as people tend to call him. You've got a boss that's basically the floor with a face, kind of like Yuga, but with just the face, no body, it's just a face, you get it. A guy that, oh no, not a guy, a sort of centipede-like monster. You've got a gigantic eagle. You've got the anglerfish, one of the worst bosses ever in Zelda history, excluding several other bosses that have appeared in Zelda history. And now then, another difference in the game is the graphic design. Now, in the Game Boy version, you've got 8-bit stuff, graphics, yeah. Well, in this version, it's more of a toy-esque thing, in which all the characters are in basically like small figurines you might get at your local game shop. And I think the graphic in the Switch version is a lot better than the Game Boy version, yeah, because the graphics are obviously well more advanced in this version, and yeah, I just enjoy the graphics more in this version. Now, there are a lot of other mini games and stuff, but you can do them at your own pace and you can do them whenever you want to. But they do end up giving you certain items or heart pieces or certain elements into the next dungeon. Now, after you've beaten a dungeon, you will be given a clue on how to get to it. It'll be like the swamp is your next target or something, whatever. Now, the final boss is up upon the top of the mountain or the island or whatever, and it's basically this giant Yoshi egg. Because basically in this game, Mario makes an appearance. Like, you've got a guy that basically looks like Mario. You've got a chain chomp, yeah, a chain chomp that's a dog. Yeah, a dog that's a chain chomp, but a chain chomp is a dog. Yeah, it's kind of confusing because a chain chomp's an enemy in the Mario games, and it's been treated like a dog. And I think it's quite cool, like how this fierce sort of enemy is treated like an everyday pet. So yeah, and once you get to the egg, you'll play all of the tunes and then face the final boss, which is basically this giant shadow type thing. And once you defeat the boss, the final boss of the game, which takes forms of different bosses that have been in past Zelda games up until the original. Like, you've got Ganon from Link to the Past, yeah, and various other games. And now it's time for some gameplay of the Switch version. So one of the differences in the game is the opening. Now with this version, it's basically an anime styled opening, while the other version is kind of a sort of art book-ish type style, if you know what I mean. So that's one of the biggest differences, aside from the gameplay, the gameplay is still the same, the graphics and some other things. So yeah, that's one of the differences. And yeah. The loading does take a long time to take place. I think there's and also because this is given in 3D, you can go diagonally, left, right, downwards, that sort of thing. I think that's quite cool. Out. If you press ZR, you can defend yourself. Press the B button, you can swing your sword. If you get the Pegasus boots, press ZL to go fast. Hold B to get a spin attack. Attack enemies to deal some damage. Press the plus button to access your items or systems or map or whatever. You can go along the map, the item screen, and choose the items. If you press either Y or X, you'll get that item on. But if you have the ocarina, you can choose between two songs, Ballad of the Winds that Man gives you, or Mambo's Mambo. Basically, a fish gives you this song, and they're very different. So, for example, if you got the fish song equipped, you can travel to any of the places that you have got teleports, warps places for. So I could always go here to Turtle Heights, which is like one of the locations you can warp to. But if you have Marin's Song, you get the sort of like Marin's theme song. And there's also, you can do another thing with this song. We go to the fish egg, or the egg that, like, the great windfish's egg, if I can just bear with me for a second. Yeah, it does take a while to get to the egg. Oh, so you go up here, then... I think it's going the wrong way. I think it's this way to the egg, I think, yeah. Yeah, this way, yeah. And if you play Marin's Song at the egg, you'll be able to get all the instruments out that you've acquired throughout your journey to open the egg. But you can see here, I don't have all the items, all the instruments. I've just got like 3 to go. I think there's like 2 or 3 to go, because I think there's like 7 or 8 instruments in this game you can collect. I think it's 8. And it's kind of like a nice tune. You can like hear, but it will be like the full song if you have like all the 8 instruments from all the dungeons. So yeah. As you can see, nothing happens because I don't have all the instruments. Oh, I didn't know you can do that. Okay. You've also got, if you press A, you can also check items. So this is Mount Tamaranch. Yeah. You can also like your normal enemies like these guys. I think they're like moblins. Yeah, these are moblins. You've got fish, shark things, and various other items. Yeah. So I think the gameplay is quite cool because of this game, because you can like fight in like 3 different directions because of the 3D, and how you can basically like use the items to collect. As you can see, it just died. You can use the items. You can just to get past certain areas. Like with the Rock's Feather, you can basically just jump over pits and such stuff. You've also got the bracelet, magic bracelet, which lets you carry heavy objects like boulders. Yeah. That's it for the gameplay. Now it's time to go back to the review. So my final verdict for this version is that it's quite good. If you want to get into the Zelda games, then I suggest playing this one first, so then you can at least have some experience of how to play this game. One of the things I would say I am not a particular fan of is how you use your items. Now what I mean by this is that you can have some space to have different items on, so you can have your bomb, your arrows, your shields, your swords, that sort of thing on 2 different things, item selects. But I would have liked to have like a bit more items you can use, like have some more item spaces, because I've been used to like other games like the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time 3D, and Majora's Mask 3D, and the original games, because you can have like 3 items at a time, and I would have liked it if I had like 1 or 2 more items you could use as well. But yeah, but apart from that, I enjoy this game. It's a really good game. It's really enjoyable. It's got really good graphics. It's got good Gameplay's got good. A lot of things. So if you want to have like a nice, easy experience, then pick up this game. So you can like ease yourself into the Zelda series and have a good time. Yeah. So that's been my review for Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the Switch. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.